A tribal council is either a First Nations government in Canada or an association of Native American bands in the United States, or the governing body for certain tribes within the United States or elsewhere. In both countries they are generally formed along regional, ethnic or linguistic lines. Associations of tribes. In Canada, the Indian band, usually consisting of one main community, is the fundamental unit of government. Bands may unite to form a tribal council, but they need not do so. Bands that do not belong to a tribal council are said to be independent. Bands may enter withdraw from tribal councils. Furthermore, the authority that bands delegate to the tribal council varies, with some tribal councils serving as a strong, central organization while others are granted limited power by the members. In the United States, several sovereign American Indian nations are organized as tribal councils. The Navajo Nation, or Dana, were formerly governed by the Navajo Tribal Council, known today as the Navajo Nation Council. The Crow Nation in Montana was once organized as the Crow Tribal Council. Since the late 20th century, the Crow Nation changed the constitution and organized as a three-branch government with a ceremonial Crow Tribal General Council. Governing bodies. Tribal councils in Canada and the United States have a somewhat different status. In the United States, the term usually describes the governing body of a tribe that is typically distinct from other tribes as a matter of geography, native language, religion and culture. The tribe, usually comprising a single reservation, is the basic unit of government. Federally recognized tribes in the United States are considered domestic dependent nations, and they have sovereign status somewhat comparable to the individual American states. Different tribes may choose governance structures for themselves, but most tribes have adopted democratic governments in which a tribal council or the equivalent functions as a legislative body and an elected or appointed chairman has an executive role comparable to a president or prime minister. On a few American Indian reservations such as the Hopi Reservation, an elected tribal democratic government operates in parallel with the tribe's traditional religious and secular government. Tribal councils in Canada. Alberta Athabasca Tribal Council. Confederacy of Treaty 6 First Nations. Four Nations Administration. Kitaskinou Tribal Council. Lesser Slave Lake Indian Regional Council. North Peace Tribal Council. Treaty 8 First Nations of Alberta. Treaty 7 Management Corporation. Western Cree Tribal Council. Yellowhead Tribal Council. British Columbia Northern Shuswap Tribal Council aka Caribou Tribal Council. Carrier-Chilcotin Tribal Council. Carrier-Sekani Tribal Council. Fraser Canyon Indian Administration. Inch-Ch. Casca Tribal Council. Quakiatl District Council. Lilloe Tribal Council. Musgamagzawa-Tinook Tribal Council. North-Samoa Tribal Council. Nicola Tribal Association. Nisgaa Tribal Council. Nyakapamix Nation Tribal Council. Northern Shuswap Tribal Council. New Channel Tribal Council. Office of the Wet'suwet'en. Okanagan Nation Alliance. Shuswap Nation Tribal Council. Stow Lone Nation. Stow Low Tribal Council. Silkuon National Government. Tsimshian Tribal Council. Treaty 8 Tribal Association. Manitoba Dakota Ojibwe Tribal Council. Interlake Reserves Tribal Council. Island Lake Tribal Council. Keewatin Tribal Council. Manitoba Keewatin Ininu Okimowan. Swampy Cree Tribal Council. Western Region Tribal Council. West Region Tribal Council. New Brunswick Mawif Tribal Council. St. John River Valley Tribal Council. Newfoundland and Labrador Northwest Territories Mackenzie Delta Tribal Council. Nova Scotia The Confederacy of Mainland Mi'kmaq. Union of Nova Scotia Indians. Nunavut, Ontario Boomers Tribal Council. Independent First Nations Alliance. Keewatin-Koki-Mackinac Council. Mattawa First Nations Mushkegowuk Council. North Shore Tribal Council. PWI-Diguzing-Niwayazedhing Advisory Services. Shibagama First Nations Council. Southern First Nations Secretariat. United Chiefs and AMP Councils of Manitoulin Island. Waban Tribal Council. Wabnorm-Bomjiwang Association of First Nations. Windigo First Nations Council. Prince Edward Island MIKMAQ Confederacy of Prince Edward Island. Quebec Anishinaabe Nation Tribal Council. Algonquin Nation Tribal Council. Mamoington Tribal Council. The Grand Council of the Crees is not a tribal council in the same sense of the above, but serves a similar purpose. Its powers are not delegated from member communities but are derived from the 1975 James Bay and Northern Quebec Agreement and subsequent agreements with Canada and Quebec. Saskatchewan Agency Chiefs Tribal Council. Confederacy of Treaty 6 First Nations. Battlefords Tribal Council. File Hills Capel Tribal Council. Fort Carlton Agency Council. Meadow Lake Tribal Council. Prince Albert Grand Council. Saskatoon Tribal Council. Southeast Tribal Council. Southeast Treaty No. 4 Tribal Council. Touchwood Agency Chiefs. Yorkton Tribal Council. Barking Spider Swift Current Chiefs Council. Yukon-Gwich'in Tribal Council. Tanana Chiefs Council. Tribal Councils in the United States. Great Lakes Intertribal Council. Intertribal Council of Arizona, Inc. Intertribal Council of Michigan. Minnesota Indian Affairs Council. Navajo Nation Council. Siletz Tribal Council. Williamsburg Tribal Council.